Thursday, June 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you just prior to 5 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Highs yesterday. It was a really nice day and many spots across the region. Lower levels of humidity in many spots. A lot of highs in the low and mid 80s, even some 70s involved in places like Richmond and Wilmington, up into the mountains as well. Currently, the 60s on the board. It's 65 in Fayetteville, 64 Greensboro, Raleigh at 66, and 69 there in Charlotte. Even 50s up in the mountains, and a few 50s mixed in a couple of Piedmont spots too. Dew points, again, we're looking at more tolerable dew point levels than what we had earlier in the week when the weather was so unsettled. Not too bad at all. And take a look at the visibilities. There are some patchy areas of fog again this morning. It's not widespread, and just like yesterday, what fog there is will erode pretty quickly this morning. Yesterday, had some pretty rough weather in parts of especially the lowlands of South Carolina, and you had a number of wind damage and flooding reports, a lot of flooding reports down around the Charleston area, also some around Savannah too. So that was with that frontal boundary that had pushed off to the south of most of North Carolina. And there's your 24-hour rain totals. Again, most of it off to the south of North Carolina, although there were a few showers that popped up in the afternoon in the mountains and the northern foothills areas as that next little front moved through. Currently on the radar, you have to head all the way down to parts of coastal South Carolina to find a few showers early this morning, most of that activity offshore. Big thunderstorms rumbling through parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota early this morning, and also still a lingering severe thunderstorm watch in northeastern Montana with that line of thunderstorms. Now check out the dew points. Still seeing some of this drier air filtering on in from the north, so our dew points are going to be in pretty good shape today. It'll be a very nice day, relatively low humidity considering the time of year. Now watch what happens along the coast. We're going to see this coastal low develop. And I think most of it's dry today, but then as that low pressure develops, it'll throw some rain back into the eastern Carolinas tomorrow, especially eastern North Carolina. And at times, some RPM modeling here is wanted to print out a few showers even as far west as Greensboro. I'm going to stick with the dry forecast for places like Charlotte and Greensboro. It'll be close, but I think that rain probably stays off into eastern sections of North Carolina. These are the rain totals, off of the RPM model, and certainly the heavy totals staying way over in eastern North Carolina, but could be pretty significant rains, maybe 2-3 inches plus in some spots over there in eastern parts of North Carolina. Now, in terms of the tropics, there is Tropical Storm Barry getting set to make landfall on the Mexican coast early this morning. Let me show you the statistics here. You're looking at this just being 30 miles north of Veracruz, Mexico, 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm. Barry will move inland and weaken. And as mentioned, the big issue with Barry is the potential for flooding and mudslides there in Mexico. Now, in terms of the upper level pattern, watch what happens. This is over the weekend. The main westerly is way off to the north as we go through the weekend, but a little bit of an unsettled type of pattern tries to settle back in here as we get into next work week. And then the European, and to some extent the GFS as well, indicating a big trough toward the latter stages of next week. So, the weekend, pretty good. Can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially in southern North Carolina and South Carolina over the weekend. And here's a peek at Sunday. Again, the activity getting a little bit more numerous in terms of showers and storms. And finally, there's a look at Monday as we begin to see those afternoon variety thunderstorms working back into the region. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday, and God bless.